Let me share with you one of the best trails in all of Sedona that actually a lot of people don't know about. Hi, I'm Brice Sokolowski, the president of Vaucluse, where we love to sweat less and we love to explore more. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a fantastic hike, actually just south of Sedona, where you're going to get fantastic views of the Red Rocks without all of the other hikers around. If you've ever been in Sedona, you know that, well, it's very, very popular, and sometimes there's a lot of people on the trail. So if you want to find a trail that doesn't have a lot of people on it, but at the same time gives you all the benefits of the great views, well, stay tuned. I'm going to be sharing you my hike, some pictures of my hike, how you can find the trail, and obviously I'm going to explain a little bit about my gear that helped me sweat less in this Arizona heat. Okay, the name of the trail is called the Woods Canyon Trail. And if you have any questions about my information and where you can look at more details, I'm gonna have all the links in the show notes right below. Also a transcript of this video. So the trail name is the Woods Canyon Trail. It's in the Coconino National Forest, which pretty much that's where Sedona is. And actually the nearest town is not Sedona. You drive south on the 179 down to village of Oak Creek. That's actually the town. It's just a few minutes south of Sedona. And there's actually a trailhead called the Red Rock Visitor Center. There's actually a few trailheads right there. That's where I started. It's a fantastic hike. I did 6 miles. Elevation of 1,000 feet. I'm going to explain to you how you can get some great views without going up that high. I went that high. I paid the price. I got great views, but it was a struggle. Moving time, it took about 3 hours. I'm going to share with you my trail. There's a few shortcuts, I think, so you don't have to be hiking 3 hours. You can probably do this in about 2 hours, and you can probably elevation of probably only 500. So what I'm going to be sharing with you is a little bit more quote-unquote extreme. However, there is a way of just more or less cruising and getting some great views. Breakdown of my trail. I'm going to break it down into 4 different sections. The first section was just, you leave the trailhead and you pretty much just head east. To the right of you, there's Dry Beaver Creek, and then to the left, you've got a hill, a butte, a plateau, however you want to describe it, kind of to your left. But you're pretty much hiking for the first 40 minutes. It's relatively flat. You don't have any views of Sedona, unfortunately, but you do have a great view. We were the only people on the trail, so it was fantastic. It was peaceful. The second part, if you want to continue down Woods Canyon Trail, you can. Eventually that dead ends. So when you do come to, there is an intersection. I took a left, which is heading north, in between 2 hills, 2 plateaus, and that's where the incline starts happening. The entire trail is relatively easy up to this point. And so on this second part, which I'm going to show with you in pictures, you can see that I'm climbing up and the view is starting to change. It's starting to get a little bit nicer. You're starting to get a sense of, okay, we are in Arizona. There's a lot more red rock. It's very, very beautiful, but you do start climbing and it does get moderately more difficult. And as I mentioned, you are no longer on the Woods Canyon Trail. So the next part is what I would call phase 3 of this hike. So once you cut through the valley, you take another sharp left and now you're heading west. So you've kind of done a loop and you're starting to head quote unquote back to where you came from. However, you start climbing in about 15 minutes, I would say you can get a great view of Sedona and all the red rocks. It's absolutely stunning. You do have several options here. You can go back down, you can go right, which is going back east. There's a whole lot more trailheads or intersections right there. So you do have several options, which is called the Munns Mountain Wilderness. So if you want to go right, if you want to go a whole lot more, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7, and you can go all the way up and you can do, several days of hiking taking that right. So you do have that option to go even further. I went left because I wanted a view. Again, you don't have to take the view, but you already have a stunning view, though I wanted a bit higher. So I kept climbing and kept climbing. Several hundred feet later, I got a stunning view of Sedona and all of the red rocks surrounding the city. It's beautiful, but as I mentioned before, I really, really paid the price. 1,000 feet, I was doing this in the sun, the summer, so it was getting hot. It was getting up into the high 80s. It's up to you. So there are different options. That's what makes this trail so great. There's different options. There's not a lot of people, and you get some really, really great views. And then point 4, step 4, phase 4 of this hike is I made my way down the plateau and headed back to the Red Rock Visitor Center. So if I had to do this again, I probably wouldn't climb to the top of the plateau. It was a bit of a struggle. It was very hot. You can definitely get some great views without going that high. With that said, I did have the Vaucluse cool dry frame, which I have here, and you're going to be able to see in some of the pictures what this frame does, and this was really helpful during the hike, is it actually keeps the backpack somewhat separate from you. So you can actually keep the backpack close to your back as you need, instead of kind of lowering it down your shoulders to try and get some type of relief. You keep the backpack on you, and then it naturally, with this frame, it allows some airflow. And so during this hike, I was definitely hot, definitely sweaty. However, my back never got really hot. You know, I was sweating, but this helped me keep my body temperature down in this heat, and that was extremely helpful. So if you need any assistance with some type of airflow in your backpack, check out vauclusegear.com. Check out our product, the Cool Dry Frame. It's going to help you. With that said, thank you so much for your time. See you on the trails.